Again, we do want the fate of the reactionary Argentinian regime. The Congress of the trade unions have finally opened session with their first proposal. During the war, it was pretty much left to each faction to deal with any captured soldiers and civilians. While leading to some degree of clemency in some occasions, it unfortunately ended terribly for the captured in several cases. That's why the united response by the TUC has been deemed necessary. First delegates to take the stage were one of the FORA, advocating that only leaders of the La Patricia should be put on trial, arguing the contents of Obsidian Depria, due obedience, which would absolve most military commanders into service from any connection to the regime unless they were direct members of the LP. This proposal, while being incredibly unpopular with other Congress factions, is very popular outside of the TUC. Many former civil servants have no choice but to join the regime or be left unemployed in the middle of the economic crisis. The Anarchists were the next proposed solution to the old regime. Each person, no matter their rank and file, would be put on trial individually for their actions, and if found guilty, would spend a considerable time in prison or suffer the ultimate penalty for the crimes against the workers. A naturally popular proposal amongst radicals, socialist delegates have protested the implications of the proposal as the marked revolution movement to be bloodthirsty and oppressive as the La Production itself was against the workers. Finally, the CUSC, with support from the Internationale, proposed for the former members of the regime to be taken to forced labor camps. These camps would allow the convicted to work off their sentences and possibly avoid death penalty by providing a useful service to the nation. The proposal seems to be striking a good middle ground. While not as merciful as the socialist one, or not as harsh as the anarchist one, it's drawing on moderates from both sides towards it draws compromise. Even the bill is not exactly clarified for how long the sentences will be, or how the conditions or location of the camps will be. Whether such a proposal or one of the others will finally win out remains to be seen. So we will go, again, we want to get the total list as popular as we possibly can. We do want to end up winning the election overall. And it is 1938. I haven't seen an event like this long since TNO. I do want to... excuse me. I do want to get back to play TNO at some point. I don't know when exactly that would be, though. And the candidates of the CUSC. The defeat of Bolshevism and the rise of syndicalism severely weakened the Argentinian Communist Party during the infancy of the revolution. Many advocates managed to keep their ideals alive for long enough to form their own trade union, the Comité de Unidad Sindicalista. However, the party stated that a lot of attraction during the revolution was a direct reaction to anarchists, as many in Argentina see them as dangerous and see the communists as a way to combat them, while still being able to fit in a new revolutionary society. Quite largely being the underdogs of the Congress, their newfound strength has allowed them to be able to have a significant chance of winning the Congress. And as such, the CUSC has opted to try not to split the vote, and has unanimously appointed Rodolfo Gotti as their leading delegate for the Congress. Only time will tell if Gotti's approach to our ideals will be enough for us to come out on top. TNO, I think I'm 95% sure it's updated for no step back. I'm pretty sure it got updated the same day that Kaiserreich got updated, if I'm not mistaken. If Flanders just went up the Reichspakt, which usually means that you got split in half. Flanders is independent. Let's see, is anything? Because Sweden, they are total autocrats. Usually means that they will end up joining the Reichspakt at some point. I don't know when exactly that will be. But aside from that, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to go okay. The fate of the federal system. The second major debate of the Trade Union Congress regards the nature of the federal system in Argentina. As per the Argentinian Constitution, Argentina has several provinces that answer the federal government. While some entities in Argentina are still marked as territories, proposals to turn these into new provinces have been made and were interrupted by the Christmas coup. However, with the success of our revolution, the different trade union delegates disagree on which path to follow going forward. For the FRA, and for their part, proposed that no change should be held, and that the territories considered for provinces like Santa Ana and Chubut in the south should be turned into provinces alongside with the remaining territories. By contrast, the CUSC has said the system should be changed in favor of centralization of power that puts more emphasis on the federal government, some resembling the unitary proposals that appeared during the Argentinian warlord period. Completely opposed to both proposals, the USA has proposed that a system should be abolished. Instead, a new one based around popular councils should be formed. While this last proposal has caused plenty of controversy, the delegates have decided which shall be the most beneficial for the new government. So again, we will go for expanding the federal government, because we do want the totals to be as powerful as possible. Because right now, they're at 46%. I mean, they're by far the most popular party in the country right now, so I would have to imagine they're going to end up winning. And a famous Argentinian writer has been found dead. Very sad. I don't think it's worthwhile for us to read that, though, at least right now. We will go for another level of construction. Because we do at least have some factories, which is nice. By the way, what territory is actually cores of ours? Just Buenos Aires. Most of the north is still very upset that we exist. Which I will say is a little bit upsetting. Okay, about 30 more days left on you. So again, we are going to be going for the communist. So you are stability plus 10%. Max factory and state, I think, is essentially garbage. Well, you know, we'll see. The fate of the Constitution. Final major decision of the Trade Union Congress is the fate of the old Argentinian Constitution. While the restructuring discussions of the federal system loosely touched upon by the Constitution, now more far-reaching changes have been proposed by the CUSC. The Fora, as expected, refused to do anything beside a few amendments to the Constitution to ensure that a new coup d'etat like the one declared by Liga Patosia can never happen again. The CUSC, on their end, argued the Constitution should be redrafted, and while some sections of the original could remain, a new one reflecting the new character of Argentina should be created. The USA, unsurprisingly, has opposed both these proposals and decided that they prefer a nation to simply nullify the existing Constitution and move forwards without one, instead of encouraging individual economies to adopt the Constitution if they so desire. As the final major subject of the TUC, the Chairman Soto will address some words to the public after the final details of the TUC are dealt with. So let's remake the Constitution. New Constitution for a new country. And I'm assuming at some point we will get decisions to... You get us cores in the Falklands, South Georgia, which is like not that great. I mean, it's not terrible, but I will say it's not really that impressive either. Yeah, so draw some offensive lines into Paraguay. Paraguay and Peru might end up at war with one another. I'm not too sure yet. And we are... Oh, no, we're actually not a puppet. I thought we were still a puppet of Chile, but that's not the case, at least as of right now. We got about 10 more days left on you. I don't know if you'll get bypassed automatically. Maybe. Revolutionary Army. Keep the militias, the Red Army. I mean, it gives you a new template. I mean, I guess that's something, right? 2 times reduction in land doctrine, though, is still pretty good. And we probably want to immediately go for expanded bureaucracy nest, would be my guess. Because, I mean, what do we have here? We got aid from the International. No, aid for the International. Hasn't really seemed that useful, at least right now. Militarization of labor. The 5-year plan. Which is okay. I mean, it's okay. Max factories. They really want a lot of factories in the States. Join a 3rd International. 3% recruit population. You're not bad either. I was actually the communist. Their tree kind of sucks right here, to be quite honest with you. But we're going to go with expanded bureaucracy in the north first. And the TUC closes with Soto's speech. At the end of the TUC, Chairman Soto has come forward and given a closing speech to the event. However, unexpectedly, he has also announced that he'd be stepping down in favor of the candidate proposed by the CUSC. With the CUSC having become the dominant wing of the Trade Union Congress, it's seen that the chairman has seen the chairman writing on the wall to decide that instead of forcing friction between his beloved USA and the now dominant CUSC, he will step down in favor of the majority faction. As such, a new chairman, Rodolfo Gotti, has been appointed by Soto and will be sworn into office in the next few days. While many see this as the revolutionary government finally settling down, others worry that this may spell even more instability in the future. So we are now the People's Republic of Argentina. We no longer have tip of the spear, 56% party support, which means we should be getting... Well, we would be getting a lot of political power bonuses if we did not have all of our horrible, crippling debuffs. But hopefully we can get rid of those debuffs in due time. The battle for Buenos Aires. Well, the CUSC has attained victory in TUC. It seems that the anarchists were not happy with the result. Disregarding Soto's speech that legitimizes Chairman Rodolfo, anarchist militia led by Svenio di Giovanni and other notable radical anarchists across Buenos Aires have begun mobilizing against us. As their forces seemingly put a chokehold on the capital, the chairman has called for unity with from the Castle Rosta. Whether this will be answered will be ignored. What's the goal for this campaign? Basically, my goal is to try to form Indonesia. which is this event right here. In order to do that, we need to own Santiago, we need to own Uruguay, we need to own Paraguay, we need to own La Paz, we need to own Lima, we need to own Ecuador, we need to own Caracas, and we need to own Llanos. It's going to give you crippling penalties for doing so. It also needs second Ville Creek needs to be over. I guess it doesn't matter who wins. But that's kind of my goal, is to try to form this this event. And you're only able to do that as a communist, which is why we heavily favor them in the trade union. Okay, so it'll be done in 3 more days. Formalized law stability would be nice. Giovanni sieges the Casa Rosada. As Giovanni calls for unity to be seemingly thoroughly ignored, a few troops of the CUSC could muster near the President Hall have fought as hard as they could before being pushed back to more numerous militias. For now, they barricade themselves inside the presidential house, with the defense of the area being led by comrades. It's Stalin. I know it's Stalin. I don't know how you say his Georgian name. Holding radio contact with the forces under siege, General Laborde Justo decided to take the initiative, asking for reinforcements to be mobilized from Tigre and Mar del Plata to aid to the capital forces. However, as they march to help the capital, the anarchists began consolidating their hold on the capital city, and Justo decided to cross the Avena Parkway towards Buenos Aires' industrial heartland. However, with the limited forces he currently possesses, 2 options have been brought forward. He could assault one of the revolutionary armory set up near the Park Canto, which would cut off the anarchists from a significant asset to increase their numbers, or he could secure the Fabrica Militaire, the Polterest explosives in the north, a few kilometers away from the famous Hippodrome, which would cut off the anarchists from a major weapons factory. We can still join the Internationale. It is in our focus tree. It is down it's down here. So once we've done dealing with resistance, socialism, and economic fallout, we can join the Internationale. So did I save? I've already forgotten if I saved or not. Okay, we did save, because I don't know which one of these might end up failing for us. So you want to make sure we end up actually, winning the battle for Buenos Aires. We need to get rid of the chaos in the country right now. Resource gain plus 10%, 20% stability is okay. You're garbage. We could create the CSC, it's just a free intelligence agency, which would be nice. Let's formalize laws first. Again, our stability is absolutely in the freaking garbage. And the armories have been secured. With the anarchists committing to assaulting the social positions around the armories, you'll be able to slip behind them and form a pincer attack. Cut off from their main force and with nowhere to go, the anarchists ended up surrendering after heavy casualties. As reinforcements arrived from the Tigre and Mar del Plata, having and acquiring a weapon stockpile, we prepared to take Frere Militiae di Porto di Explosivo, again, butchering every pronunciation, back from the anarchist militias. Every moment we waste is time lost for the defenders trapped in Casa Rosada, who were starting to see their lines falter as the anarchists have finally brought in artillery pieces captured during the Civil War. With the anarchists still in position, it's only a matter of time before they enter Casa Rosada and fully execute their coup. Okay, we get 500 free guns. Happy with that. Well, the thing is, I know when you go totalist as Argentina... Well, okay, here's the thing. I don't know anymore. It used to be that if Argentina went totalist, they would be able to invade Chile. That used to be a thing that you can do. I don't know if it's still possible, but we'll kind of see as we go forward. Our choice to take the armories and to capture the weapons have come at a cost. As our forces finally were able to move into the Fabrica di Porto Explosivo, we are met with an empty factory. The anarchists seemingly taking all valuable tooling. Okay, so we got basically jack shit out of it. Shortly after concentrating barrage to the factory from Porto Mordo, seemingly in hopes to add insult or injury and raise the effect to the ground. While it's not all lost, the reconstruction of the Argentinian industry will be delayed by this loss, and while the factory was destroyed, not all is lost. Reinforcements led by comrades Morsovro have finally arrived from Tigre and Mar del Plata, and while Justo and Morsova have begun preparing to plan an attack, and approach our wasting means more of our comrades dying in the Casa Rosada. Good support to CSA. Could give them 2,000 guns. How are they doing? I mean, kind of in a stalemate right now, I would say. How many guns do I have? I guess that's actually gonna more influence this than anything. If you have exactly 2,000, I don't want to do it. We're gonna do another save here just in case this event matters. So let Justo finish doing the preparations and for eager troops to arrive in the capital to help restore the government. A rather desperate radio transmission from Kaiserreich has reached from outside forces, asking them to step in quickly as possible. As such, 2 plans have been drafted. A more ambitious one, utilizing around armored cars, focusing on breaking the encircled area and rescue our forces trapped there, and then pulling them out and slowly strangle the enemy forces to death as their legitimacy and numbers dwindle. The other plan is to redirect the mass infantry charge toward... And that sounds like a bad idea. Where scouts state the anarchist artillery have been concentrated. Regardless of the choice, there's no time to repair. Let's break through the encirclement with the armored cars. I feel like doing a mass infantry assault probably is like not the best idea. Propaganda. Oh, we actually have stuff we can do here. You do call... I mean, you're actually war support. And we have a lot of manpower. There we go. I will very easily sink this in there. Collectivize the countryside. How many factories do we have? Right now we have 8. You all do the same thing, so we'll just take one of you for right now. And then you are administration chaos. We need a lot of political power off this as well. We're actually still losing political power. We wouldn't be losing political power if we do this. Our forces break through. I'm chosen to break through the encirclement and get our men out. Our valiant attack has taken place along the Vera de Mayo. While the anarchist artillery barrage took a heavy toll on our forces, we were able to take out all barricades to the presidential house. However, being under heavy bombardment, it's uncertain how long we'll be able to hold this line. And Comrade Godi in the Casa Roda has requested that the wounded be evacuated first, but the rest of the forces can pull out. Justo has been angered by the decision, stating that it's putting the formerly encircled forces and relief force at risk if all of them don't evacuate now. And we're going to do another save. Get as many troops out as possible. Sorry, I apologize if you're wounded right now. I might just leave you to die. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Other than keeping the line open, the anarchists have finally realized that we don't intend to retreat from the premises and have begun staging offensives on the sides of Vera de Mayo. However, our forces have managed to hold off their attacks, and it seems as soon as we will be able to retake our offensive and drive these fanatic anarchists back to their positions. What about penalties? We have, I mean, 20% damage to garrisons is not terrible. Okay, formalize our laws, giving me the political power I need. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! All of them are done immediately. Do you cost? Wait, do you cost anything? I don't think so. I think you're just a flat 40 cost, which is actually not that bad. Give me more stability and political power, please. Yeah, unfortunately, like we don't have a lot of factories right now. And the anarchists collapse. With all the columns attacking in the weak spots of the anarchist defense, we were able to slowly push back the anarchists closer and closer to Casa Rosada. We were ultimately able to force to break off the encirclement. An anarchist assault via the Luna Park area was attempted to try and retake their guns, but our forces were easily able to hold off the line. Especially as our new guns found the anarchists exposed to the cover of the collapsed buildings. Losses that the anarchists have sustained is too prohibitively costly, and now appears that we no longer will be able to effectively break out from their encirclements. Now, the last thing that remains is clear is mopping up Sergio's forces, but our regime seems all but secured. I mean, yeah, we can't send him the guns. And I think Stalin just died. I mean, it would be my guess, because it just said he got retired. Okay, the Dutch Revolution. I mean, we're happy to see that. And the communist final power struggle. With the anarchist forces finally surrendering and Severino di Giovanni being taken in for trial, a power struggle has erupted within the ranks of the CUSC. With Chairman Gaudi's inaction almost having caused the complete collapse of the revolutionary government to reactionary agents, and caused the death of Comrade Stalin, Chusa has raised a successful no-confidence vote within their party, who has withdrawn their support from Gaudi in the Congress. Having lost all allies and finding no exit, Gaudi has opted to resign from his position, leaving a decision of who will be the new chairman to the majority faction TUC. With the USA being almost completely delegitimized by Giovanni's actions, and this The CUSC has become undoubtedly the majority faction of the CUC. With the power vested in them, they have elected a chairman as the hero of recent events, General Leonardo Justo, to lead the nation's foreseeable future. After being sworn into office, Justo gave a stirring speech stating that the Argentine Revolution is the first step towards liberation of the proletariat in America from the imperialist. Yeah, so you're now in charge, right? Yeah. I knew that you would